Good afternoon. Thanks to the organizers for the opportunity to participate. So my name is Steve Pakola. I'm the Chief Medical Officer at REGENXBIO. Before we dive into our suprachoroidal program, I'd like to say a few words about REGENXBIO. So for over 10 years, REGENXBIO has been a leader in gene therapy, both inside the eye and also outside the eye. And this has largely been based on our proprietary platform of AAV vectors, which happen to include AAV8 and AAV9. And that's important because those are the most clinically validated vectors in the world across a variety of therapeutic areas. And that really sets us up in terms of having the most confidence for safety, efficacy, and also durability. Here's our pipeline. You'll note that we have a couple non-ophthalmic late-stage programs on top of our Retina program, but of course, today we're going to talk about our Retina program, ABBV RGX-314, which fortunately we can abbreviate as 314. So this is a potential first gene therapy for chronic retinal diseases. And it's a program that we are in collaboration with AbbVie Allergan. And we set this collaboration up, this global collaboration up a few years ago. And it's a complementary opportunity where we meld our expertise in AAV gene therapy development as well as manufacturing with AbbVie Allergan's recognized worldwide eye care capabilities. So what is RGX-314? So it's an experimental one-time gene therapy in development for wet AMD and diabetic retinopathy. And it utilizes the AAV vector that I mentioned before because of the excellent tropism that Tom already reviewed with you. And it encodes for a gene that delivers a protein that's a monoclonal antibody fragment for anti-VEGF activity with the goal to have sustained therapeutic protein expression by the own patient's retinal cells. Tom mentioned the different routes of administration that are considered for gene therapy. The gold standard is certainly subretinal. And Tom reviewed some of the history there, of course, with the only approved gene therapy so far for retinal delivery. And the benefits of subretinal include the fact that it is targeted delivery to the target tissue, the retina itself, and it's delivered in a compartmentalized immune-privileged space, the subretinal space. So we, as REGENXBIO, before our partnership with AbbVie, initially started with this form of delivery, and we've advanced that into pivotal development for treatment of wet AMD. But we and others always, for quite some time, I think certainly more than a decade, have always dreamed of, wouldn't it be great if you could have a gene therapy that you could deliver in the office? And we at REGENXBIO have always from the beginning had the philosophy that it's not just a matter of being able to deliver it in the office. It's very important to preserve the key benefits of subretinal delivery. So for us, a requirement, frankly, was that we could deliver close to the target tissue, the retina, and that we could deliver it in a compartmentalized space to ensure that we don't have off-target tissue toxicity. So we selected suprachoroidal and have advanced into phase 2 development. We also chose to use the Clearside SCS microinjector, and Raphael will go into that a lot more going forward, but we felt that was also the most validated device to utilize for our treatment. Here's all the studies that we've done in these two different routes of administration. Our subretinal pivotal program for treatment of wet AMD is going to enroll 1,200 patients. So that easily makes it the largest clinical development program for an in vivo gene therapy in the eye or outside the eye. In the suprachoroidal space, which we're going to focus on here, of course, we actually did the first ever suprachoroidal delivery of gene therapy trials for treatment of wet AMD and also treatment of diabetic retinopathy. I'm going to actually focus on diabetic retinopathy because that's where we see the biggest potential unmet need exists. So this is a global pandemic, a leading cause of blindness in the working age population. And we all know anti-VEGF injections, if you give them repeatedly, indefinitely, you can fend off the vision-threatening complications that cause vision loss and lead to the need for anti-VEGF injections. But we also know in the real world, it's just simply not sustainable to inject patients repeatedly, both because of the treatment burden, but also the visit burden. So in the real world, the clinicians can actually see non-invasively the advance of the disease. And we know as your severity of diabetic retinopathy advances, you're at greater risk of developing vision-threatening complications. So the potential of one-time gene therapy is to stabilize diabetic retinopathy or even improve it to prevent patients from developing these complications. We're evaluating treatment of diabetic retinopathy in the phase 2 altitude study, and we've looked at 3 dose levels across a range of diabetic retinopathy severity levels. And we've seen excellent safety and tolerability, and I think most notably in cohorts where we've given short course topical steroids, we've seen no IOI, intraocular inflammation. So we believe this supports our premise that giving compartmentalized gene therapy can help potentially have a safer safety profile. So what we've seen in the trial is patients who are not given treatment, not unexpectedly, have worsening diabetic retinopathy over time, whereas patients who received 314 actually have stable to improved diabetic retinopathy. And this slide has really engendered the most excitement in the field in that these validated imaging measures and results on DRSS are actually translating into benefit for patients in terms of decreased risk of complications. And most notably at dose level 2 in NPDR patients, we see an 89% reduction in vision-threatening complications. So in summary, we at REGENXBIO and AbbVie are very excited about the safety and efficacy results that we've seen, and they're actually hitting our target profile. So because of that, we and AbbVie have accelerated this program. So we have guided that we're having an end of phase 2 meeting with the FDA this quarter. So we're excited to have an opportunity before the end of the year to give you an update on our pivotal plans for treatment of diabetic retinopathy. Thank you.